Just how bad did it look on Saturday at Kansas? We're going to hear from you. And what about the catch in the Ohio game that Cam Vaughn made that was ruled not a catch? How did that impact that game and potentially even the season for the Mountaineers? We're also going to hear from you on that. In this episode of the Couz Call-In Show, we're going to answer and respond to a few voicemails, and we're going to do that right now. What is up, and welcome into this episode of Couz's Corner, your home for top-shelf college sports news and analysis surrounding the West Virginia Mountaineers and the Big 12 Conference. Today, this is the second full edition of the Couz Call-In Show, where I respond to voicemails left to me by you, the audience. If you want me to respond to your message, give me a call at 304-712-9347. Leave your name and where you're calling from, and I will do my best to respond to your message. I will respond to the best messages. And, of course, paid VIP members will get first priority. Let's go ahead and go to the first calls of the day. First one is a VIP member, Mr. Browns and Beers, who actually attended the game. Let's hear what he had to say.
Hey, Couz, Browns and Beers here. I was about to say, calling you from outside of Allen Fieldhouse, actually. I decided to stop here on the day after the game and just, kind of check it out. Really not the coolest arena to walk around. I was about to say, I definitely say the Coliseum's actually just a nice, much nicer walk. Man, the game yesterday, that was rough. I agree with you overall. The defense played about as well as really you could ask for. I was about to say, at point though, when your offense just continuously keeps going, three and out. I was about to say, you're going to get tired legs, and that just does not put your defense in a good spot. I was about to say, just overall very frustrating game. I guess one of my big picture questions for you is just a simple, addressment of, hey, do you go you go Henderson now for the rest of the season? Do you go for him next week? I think you have to, just with the way the offensive line has been playing. I was about to say, just very frustrating one. Have a good one, brother. Hey, Couz, Browns and Beers here.
Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't get it paused quick enough. But no, to answer your question, first off, Browns and Beers is one of the most loyal West Virginia fans you'll see. He goes to every home game, almost every away game, if not every away game that he's able to go to. So hats off to him for being such a loyal and passionate fan. But to answer your question, Browns and Beers, about the quarterback, I personally think they need to go to Jaylen Henderson. Not necessarily for the rest of the season, but for at least this next game, for the simple thing you said. Nicco is like a sitting duck back there. And it's not even necessarily Nicco's fault, okay, that he would get quote-unquote benched. But it's just the way the offensive line is playing. You need a quarterback that can run away from the problems, or one who can make some plays in the run game so that the defense can't just come after you. You keep them honest by having a quarterback who can run the football a little bit, especially if you don't have a running back there who can do that. And in the RPO game, even with a good running back, in the RPO game, Nicco was not a threat to pull it and run, because your linebackers or your safeties can get downhill fast enough to limit his yardage to 1, 2, 3 yards a tote. With Jaylen Henderson, you can't do that. He's more of a threat. So you've got to be more prepared for it. It's one more thing to prepare for, one more thing to adjust to during the game. So, yes, I definitely would go to Jaylen Henderson, at least in this Utah game, see how it goes, and then you make a decision from there. I think you have to go game by game at this point. I'm not sold on either guy as a long-term solution right now, to be perfectly honest. But thanks for your call, Browns and Beers. Now let's go to the next caller, see what they had to say.
Hey, Couz, this is Kevin from Abington, Virginia. And my comment was going to be about the Cam Vaughn catch, ruled no catch at the end of the Ohio game in the fourth quarter. That's first and goal in a 7-point game. They review it. He's clearly in. I've watched it. I'm not trying to look at it with blinders like WVU. I would like for you to at least look at it, maybe do something on the show about it, talk about it. But Thank you. Yeah.
Kevin, thank you for the call. Kevin from Abingdon, Virginia, place not too far from me. Anyway, the catch in the Ohio game. I know we're already moving on to the Utah game. That's 2 games back. But Kevin's point was, and I apologize, Kevin, for just now addressing this. I only do one of these shows a week, so I'm just now getting to this call. But to address Kevin's question here, yes, Cam Vaughn, I do think that was a catch, Kevin. I definitely do. And it would have been, first and goal or whatever. And West Virginia could have taken it in and scored, made it 7, and tied the game. But it still doesn't mean they'd have won the game. I mean, they still likely would have went into overtime. And also, that catch, honestly, if you looked at that in real time, in full speed, it would have been a tough call to make. And I don't really fault the officials for making the call they made. I do. And can you overturn it? In that situation, was the evidence clear enough to overturn it? I mean, I thought it was, but they obviously saw it different. But even if they wouldn't have, and let's just say theoretically West Virginia goes on, or hypothetically, West Virginia goes on and wins that game. They're 3-0. Does that stop what happened this past week at Kansas? It really doesn't. It really doesn't. I mean, you still have that game at Kansas that we can't get past. And yes, they're sitting here at 3-1. Maybe it's easier to get to a bowl game. But again, it's coulda, woulda, shoulda. That game against Ohio should have never been that close to begin with. And at best, it would have tied the game. So there's still no guarantee they win it. But I do think it was a catch. Should they have overturned it? Probably. But again, it still wasn't because they caught it incomplete on the field. I guess they felt like they had to stick with that call in the booth. I don't know. We've seen closer calls overturned, in my opinion. So maybe they should have. But that being said, I'm not sure it changes much. Maybe you win that game, but at the end of the day, it doesn't change the outcome that just happened against Kansas, But I do understand your call and appreciate the call. I do understand the call, understand your frustration, and I appreciate the call. Now let's go ahead and get to our next caller. Before we do that, though, I want to take a break and give a shout out to our sponsor. This episode is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Don't let one bad leg haunt your parlay. Parlays turn into payouts, and now even near misses won't haunt your bet. The NFL season is here, and college football is now in full swing, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is rewriting the rules with Ghost Leg, a new game-changing promotion that turns close calls into cold, hard cash. Best of all, it's available to all DraftKings customers. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code COUZ, that's code COUZ, C-O-U-Z, to unlock Ghost Leg, the promotion that makes one bad leg disappear and pays you out in real cash. Ghost your losses. Get your payout in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. Fees may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Opt in for single-use token. Minimum 3+ legs and minus 500 odds per leg. Max bet varies. If only one leg of the bet loses, bet will settle as if only the winning legs were placed and pays out in cash based on odds when the bet was placed. See terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. Thank you for being patient, letting me get through the housekeeping, and thanks to DraftKings for supporting the show. Let's go to caller number 3, Mr. Wilson from New York.
Hey, I'm Ruve Wilson. I'm from New City, New York. I'm a West Virginia grad from class of 1984. I was actually at the opening of the new Mountaineer field. Saw John Denver, and it was awesome. I love West Virginia University. However, since I graduated, I became a religious Jew, so I can't go to the games and watch the Mountaineers on TV. So I have to rely on commentary on what happened, and I happen to enjoy your commentary and your analysis more than anybody else. So I just want to thank you for your commentary and keep up the good work. Thank you.
Mr. Wilson, I apologize. I was not able to understand your first name. I thought you said Rube or Rude, or Ruve maybe, but I didn't want to misspell it on the screen, so I just left it at Mr. Wilson. But I really appreciate the call. I learned something today. I was not aware. Again, I'm not Jewish, so I'm not the only Jewish, I guess, education, so to speak, that I've received is what I've read from the Jewish folks in the Bible, right? And I'm not sure how similar your religion is to that. But I did not know that Jewish people did not attend sporting events or watch them on television. So that's something new to me. So I learned something today. Maybe it's a certain type of Jewish. Maybe you can educate me in an email or leave me a voice message that I don't necessarily have to play on air that you can educate me through. But nonetheless, Mr. Wilson, thank you for the call. And it's also really cool and humbling to know that you listen to my show to get your West Virginia news. That's really humbling to know that my channel, sometimes I feel like my channel does not benefit people that much. It's just, something to do for fun. But to know that it goes a little deeper than that for some people is really cool to know. And I really appreciate you sharing that with me. And it's things like this that make me continue doing what I do. Because I do make a little bit of money at this, but not a lot. So I'm not doing it for the money, obviously. I'm doing it because I enjoy it. And I really appreciate this call because it's things like this to keep me motivated. So I really, really thank you for that call, Mr. Wilson. And I apologize for not being able to put your first name on the screen. Let's go ahead and go to the final caller of the day, who has going to share his thoughts overall about the performance of the West Virginia team in the game against Kansas.
Couz, it's Matt from Cumberland. Man, I'm just thinking about this game. Our defense is doing pretty well for itself, but watching the special teams and this offense, it was just brutal. That right side of the offensive line, man, I don't even think they're up to playing FCS level. It was just horrible. Horrible, horrible. It's not going to work. We could have any quarterback we want, but with this blocking, I'm just not confident at all that we're going to go above 500 this year. Couz, it's Matt from Cumberland.
Thank you, Matt, for the call. I agree. It's been terrible. I mean, the numbers bear it out. When you look at Pro Football Focus, we have one of the lowest graded offensive lines in the country, especially on the right side. And it's got to get better. Now, I don't know if they don't have the body, if the guys behind them are injured. I do know Cooper Young is injured. I do know that Xavier Bosley has been injured. Maybe that's your next two best offensive linemen. And maybe there's just a depth problem there and they don't have anybody that's any better to fill those roles. Cooper Young appears to be out for a long period of time. Not sure about Xavier Bosley. Maybe they can get those two guys back, or at least one of them back, and help a little bit. We don't know what's going to happen now with Landon Livingston. That's a center position. But definitely the offensive line is definitely, in my opinion, the number one concern on this football team. We knew it was going to be a question going into the season, but I don't think we had a clue it was going to struggle this badly. Nicco did not have enough time to throw the football last game. The run blocking has been suspect at best. Even in the Pitt game when Ty Edwards ran for 141 yards, the run blocking, though it got better later in the game, overall it was still not good. They did not grade out well in the run game, run blocking. They did just enough, and he was able to break some tackles at or just past the line of scrimmage to help. We don't know what his status is going to be this week. How healthy is he going to be? Without Ty Edwards or a back like Ty Edwards, what can this running game be like? That's why I answered one of the previous questions. Yes, I think Jaylen Henderson needs to start at quarterback to give us another running threat and someone who can run away from the pressure when it comes, because you can't make plays downfield if you don't have time to throw the football. And you can't run the ball if you don't have people moving the other team back. And the defensive line that West Virginia is getting ready to play is arguably the best they've played so far. You could argue that maybe Pitt's better, but I'm not sure about that. Kyle Whittingham always has great defensive linemen, and right now they have one of the leading players in the country as far as sacks go. They have an edge rusher that already has 6 sacks on the season. So they're going to have their work cut out for them again this week. So I agree with Matt. I share your frustration with the offensive line. I do think some changes need to be made some way, somehow. If you don't have another offensive lineman that can play, you've got to figure out a way to scheme around it, and you've got to get better blocking from your other guys whether it be tight ends, whether it be running backs, whether it be on the perimeter or whatever, those guys have to block at an elite level, an even higher level, to compensate for what the offensive line is struggling to do. And you got to have a quarterback that gets rid of the ball quickly, goes through his reads quickly, which might mean, hey, I can't take a ton of shots down the field, which again limits your offense. You create so many problems, man. Create so many problems. But anyway, I share your frustration, Matt, and I thank you for the call and for the support of the show. Again, thanks to everyone who called in. If you want to call in and leave me a voice message, feel free to call the number at 304-712-9347. Leave your name, where you're calling from. Please make sure you have limited noise in the background, and make sure you speak clearly. I did have one or two other messages I was not able to play because I was not able to understand the caller. So obviously, if I can't understand your message, I can't play it on the air and I can't respond to it. And I apologize for that, but that just is what it is. That's the nature of shows like this. But I hope you like this show. Hope you like this style of show. It's something I'm going to try to continue to do. Mondays is the day I'm going to try to record these and put them out for you guys. So let me know in the comments. Please be sure to hit the thumbs up button if you like this video. Please be sure to share it with your family and friends. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Be sure to turn on your notifications. There's a notification bell below, and make sure notifications are on your device so that every time a new Couz Corner show pops up, you will be notified and you can check us out. Be sure to also check out our written content over at WVSportsChat.com. We really appreciate the support. Appreciate you tuning in. Hope the rest of your day's top shelf. Oh, and by the way, for those listening on audio only, please be sure to leave a 5-star review and follow us at your favorite podcast platform. Have a top shelf day. God bless, and Q Country Roads.